month of December, and you know what? We've been doing this for, I think this is our 6th one. We wanted to give y'all a big Christmas present. So today, we have the OG of Texas Backyard BBQ, the one that's been giving the gospel to everybody in Texas and outside of Texas. I cannot wait for you to see one of my greatest friends, the most beautiful guy ever in the world, Matt Pittman. We're literally
in the
backyard.
Yeah, mother and child reunion.
Let's go.
That's what I'm looking for.
This is live to that right there in the world. Y'all know that, right? So, y'all might know where we're at, but it's one of those things. I cannot believe I'm here. We've been doing this for 5-6 months, and we are at the OG of Texas Backyard BBQ, the one and only Mr. Matt Pittman with Me Church.
Man, what an intro.
What is going on?
When we do videos, they say big energy, and you just brought it.
Are you serious?
That was awesome.
I just can't believe you let us come to your house. Like, I don't know if you remember this, but I think it was around 2021. I think it was the last class you ever did here, because I don't think people realize you used to have 50, 60 people here doing your classes.
Yeah. Yeah, and until the wife was like, you need to do these somewhere else.
God, like, it's just unbelievable. Like, I want to say thank you for Texas barbecue. Like, what have you done for a lot of people in our industry? I probably have 10 people a day that walks into our restaurant with Me Church.
You're good for my ego.
So, if you need to learn how to do prime rib, you can go to YouTube or you go to MeatChurch.com and type in Me Church. He has a great prime rib video. But today, we're going to learn how to do tenderloin. And you know what? I think I'm going to do one for the holiday season too, because I've never done one. I've been scared to.
Well, you and I have done events before, and other cowboys. And by the time I'm home here in Waxahachie, you're sending me selfie videos cooking a 44 farm steak at well after midnight, drinking some red wine. This, with if you've been saving up any nice bottles of wine, good bourbon is meant to be drank and shared with friends and family. So get out that good wine and go get yourself a tenderloin. And it may look like a mess now, but by the time we're done, it's going to be delicious.
Awesome. So, when we get back, we're going to do a little trim, and then we're going to do some season, and then we get to do some fun stuff, and that's get to cooking. So we'll be back. It's just awesome.
It is. And this is, if you trim this out all the way and cut it into smaller steaks, it would be filet mignon. So it's obviously the most tender thing ever. It's going to be great.
But everything's better cooking whole. So you can cut it in steaks, but why not cook it whole? Get a nice crust, and then slice it up, and then start.
Totally.
All right.
Start working on it.
Let's do it.
And you get to use your hands for a minute. There's a piece on here on the end called the chain that you can kind of naturally see with your hands. You don't need a knife.
Look how easy that is.
It's crazy. You already know it's going to be tender when I can just deal with it with
one hand.
Yeah. So
wow. So can you grind that up and make burgers?
Totally, no waste here, right? It'd be the best burgers ever. So we're gonna save all this and kind of process it.
So typically, you can just make a nice little red wine sauce, cut up little pieces, do kind of like a little stew with it, right?
Dude, there's so much you can do with it. I am cognizant of how much these cost, so sometimes I want to do stuff, make the best use possible out of it. But it's great meat, obviously. Yeah. But anyway, all right, get rid of that chain like that, and there'll be a lot of things, like I said, you can kind of peel off with your hand.
But I would also say, you're doing this at home, so we're going to try to take off not as much possible, so you can serve most of it.
That's actually a great point. There's a lot, when I get this trimmed down, I'll show you more, a little bit about this, but budget conscious, I'm going to leave as much as possible to maximize that. We could do what a lot of people do on social media, which is trim this thing down to look completely uniform and perfect. And I'm just kind of trimming away this fat here.
And you may, as you're trimming this, you may be like, man, that is the most tenderloin I've ever seen. It is 44 farms out of Camden, Texas, Black Angus, no antibiotics, no hormones. It's the best beef in the world. So yes, if you want some of this, you can go to 44steaks.com. But you can go pick up a tenderloin anywhere. But 44, just look at that.
Most stuff I'm just peeling off. So I do all this hand peel first, and then you're going to end up exposing the silver skin here, which I will remove. I do tell people on beef it's optional. On game, you got to get rid of the silver skin because that's where a lot of the gaminess comes from. But this is actually really easy to remove. I just take a fillet knife
And
and
it's-
I get underneath and just start to kind of work underneath it here.
And it's okay. You may take a little meat off, right?
Yeah, you may take. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of angling my blade up, and this will take a few passes, and that is mostly just silver skin. That's one of the things that people are very intimidated about when they first start. But you can see hardly anything came off
Wow.
there. Look at it. It's
That's a sharp
really not
knife.
hard. It is.
You know, the sharper the knife, the better it cuts.
I like really sharp knives and really cold meat. Those are friends. So we're gonna get rid of the silver skin, then we're gonna finish up the trim and slather, season, and cook.
You know what's a good thing about, I would say wintertime-ish here in Texas? Less flies, right?
Shh, bro, you have no idea. Talk to these guys over here. Flies are the devil in this kitchen. So here's the deal. If you live in Ellis County, I think the flies have a Google map of like how to get to Meat Church. They know what's up. They know the food we serve here is amazing, and they hang out here. Let's season that. We're gonna season with my favorite beef combination, as you said, Meat Church Holy Cow, and a little bit of Meat Church garlic and herb. I like to put the bigger seasonings on first so that we make sure it doesn't all bounce off. This is salt, pepper, garlic, 16 mesh coarse cracked pepper, pepper forward. It's my brisket rub. So we're gonna go pretty good layer of that, and you have excellent seasoning skills. I don't know if you know this or not, but earlier this year, I got a YouTube comment that said that I season like a bitch.
I do remember that one.
Yeah, I love that one. Somebody made me a shirt with that on it.
Oh, they did. They brought it to the class.
Yeah.
That was a class I didn't get kicked out of, right? What do you like to do in this?
So I'm going with the bigger end towards the fire so it can take the heat a little more. Not a huge deal. You could also kind of turn it sideways, but smaller end back here away from the fire. We've got a fire block in just to keep it from blasting. Something I like to do. We're running 275 degrees with post oak. We're going to go Central Texas style. We're down around 250 right now.
I want to feel like a pit master.
Yeah, there you go. Stoke it up for me.
There you go.
And so what we're doing is, this is a reverse sear basically. We're going to smoke it to a certain temperature and then we're going to sear it at the end, as you mentioned. So I like medium rare, which is 130 to 135. So what I will do is I will smoke, this is preference on y'all's part, I will smoke mine until about 110 internal, maybe 115. If you like more of a medium, then I would take it to in the 120s. We're going to pull it off and then we're going to sear it, like we said. And that'll get us up to more of our target temperature. But I like mine like the bottom edge of medium rare, so that's why I'm more like 110. So you're just going to cook it to your preference. So at 275 degrees, that size tenderloin is an hour to an hour and 20 minutes. So depending on your size, your temperature, and your desired doneness, budget an hour and a half would be good.
And don't be scared at all to 30 minutes in, temp it. Like, it's okay. I know they say if you're not looking, you're not cooking. Sometimes it's okay to look. I look all the time.
If you're not looking, good luck.
Yeah, I look all the time. People come to the restaurant all the time, and people freak out. We have the smoker doors open, like, for 5 minutes. Man, you close it down, it's going to get back up there.
This thing recovers real quick.
Yep. So, we're going to give it about 45 minutes, an hour. We're going to hopefully, fingers crossed, have the temp at 110 so we get to some searing and to some eating, because that's all I want to do. And we'll be back. So it's been about an hour, and I think it's time to see if it's ready to rest. I think you rest before we sear, right?
I do. Like with a reverse sear, when it comes out of the smoke, I like to let it rest for 5-10 minutes. Let those juices that are out at the end of the muscle fibers just kind of relax, and then we'll throw it on the sear.
Let's do it.
Instant read thermometer.
Yeah, so thermal pin. 1, get in half a second, right? Look at that, 110 on the dot. Have you done this once or twice? Once. Oh, look at that color. So again, it's just a mahogany color on here. This isn't fully cooked. You're about to sear it, and that's where he's going to get that extra love.
Yeah,
in
get
there.
that char. So a lot of people, when you talk about steaks, they're like, man, why don't you just smoke a ribeye? And I said, well, that
If you can smell this,
it's not no. The garlic and herb combo with the pepper and the holy cow, it smells awesome. Throw that on your dinner table, people are going to start salivating. But if you just ate it like that, you could smoke this to 130, edible, 140, whatever you want to do. But I like the char that you get off of direct grilling. So you could sear in a cast iron skillet and get like serious crust. But the Maillard reaction that happens, that hot metal on here in direct fire, I like that, which is why I'm going to add that sear. And some people could choose to sear first and then smoke, which is kind of what you get in a traditional steak restaurant in a lot of cases. But this works good for me, and it's going to be, we didn't talk about the benefit of reverse searing, it's going to be even doneness coast to coast, I mean coast to coast, by the time we're done.
Coast to coast, from the East Coast to the West Coast. That's where the meat church goes, and also international.
Yeah,
Where's the furthest you've shipped to?
There's nowhere we haven't shipped to.
Woo! That's what I like to hear. So, it's been about 10, 15 minutes, been resting. As you can see, there's barely any juices that have been released.
Yeah.
But that means everything's starting to go back out.
It's making it super juicy for you. Every bite's going to be amazing.
So
you're excited about this.
I am. Like, this is like, number one, I'm in your backyard. Number two, it's Mr. Matt Pittman himself with Me Church. Like, I'm next to you. And we're about to eat a 44 farm tenderloin. Like, I don't know what else. Like, this is heaven.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be better than Jordan's turkey. No disrespect to Jordan.
Jordan, I did not say that.
It's no disrespect to Jordan. He can outcook me 8 days a week. It's just the 44 Farms tenderloin.
So, how do you like to get the slicing going?
Man, I'm going to go down the middle, get you the money shot. But this, just like prime rib, I serve to order. So, as I was saying in the beginning, I know that my wife is going to prefer to have more done, so I'll slice her some off the end. And then, it's like brisket. It dies a quick death, so you want to serve it as you give to people. But you could just slice right through this thing. But like I said, it reminds me of prime rib, where I want the middle, the super medium rare stuff, and then if people like it more, then they can get out towards the end.
And I bet the next morning this makes some really good breakfast tacos.
Let me tell you something, or sandwiches. And by the way, if you cut in this for somebody that's too rare, you can slap it in a pan for a second.
You can just throw it back on the jacatori.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, I'll shut up now.
I hope this works. Oh wait, I need to open it up, don't I? Open that up.
Look at that.
And it's got a little, oxygen got to hit it for a second because it'll look like, it might be a little bit gray, but you sit here and wait. That pink is coming through.
And there's no juices running out.
No, there's hardly any on the board. And so as this sits here, you'll see it get more pink. And you can see the sear is just going to be here on the outside. And, otherwise it's even doneness throughout the entire thing. So, yeah, and you can see the benefit of not just searing the top and bottom is to get that crust on the outside. And like I said, as it sits here for a second, it's going to get even more pink. But I feel like nailed it.
Yes.
This is going to be great temperature. This right here, hold on. By the way, I can tell you how crazy tender that is. You probably want your own
Hey,
slice.
wait, tell me. I want to say. I've always wanted to say this on camera. I ain't mad at it.
You haven't eaten it yet.
I don't care. Oh.
Look at that. So I'm telling you right now, you make that for your family right there. And I don't know how it's pretty bright out here today, so I keep talking about the doneness. Look, it's getting even more pink. That is bottom side of medium rare. Totally. You ready?
I am. Can we just dip it in there?
Yeah, no one else is here. So I love the glove police and the YouTube haters. Guess what? We in a restaurant. We're here at the house. And you can double dip. I'll follow you, no problem. Oh my God. Dude, look. That is so tender, it almost broke off the weight of me holding it. Look at that, look at that. It is like barely hanging on.
So, I'm really mad that I've never done this in my life.
Hey.
Like,
People do this with brisket. How insane is it you can do it with a tenderloin?
Matt, thank you so much for letting me come to your house. And thank you for making this most amazing meal for me.
God,
Like,
this is good.
This is, look, like, you're going to be the star for the rest of the year, for the rest of your life. Got to make this around the holidays, Christmas time. Y'all asked for it. We brought y'all the biggest present there is. Mr. Matt Pittman himself with Me Church. And I'm going to dip this one more time. And Matt, thank you so much.
Dude, I was going to say, do you want to go to lunch? But we don't need to. Stay here.
Cheers.
Good Lord.
And we're out.